The two European Union member states, giants of the Europe, has introduced new immigration policy approach towards migrants in their countries. When Germany has introduced a new bill, draft bill in the parliament, which is approved for more deportation of immigrants from Germany, at the same time, on the other hand, Netherlands have expressed the need for more laborers or more workers in the country. Yeah, those are the two stories of the countries with regards to immigration. Hello, I am Mahlet Ayele, your host at Connect Africa, bringing you the latest related to the continent and globally that affects Africans as we are. So, yeah, with regards to immigration, this is what the government or the draft bill that has passed by Germany. Let me just share with you. This is the Ministry of Interior has introduced. Just before that, these are the questions I'm going to answer in this presentation, like what has been said exactly by these two countries, who said what, and then the why and how this is going to be implemented. And, in both countries, what did they say exactly, and what is their policy of, immigration, and what does the EU say with regards to. I'm going to address these questions as I present to you now. This is from Germany. Yeah, the German cabinet, as you can see here in the headline, approved legislation on Wednesday that it intended to ease deportation of unsuccessful asylum seekers. So the German cabinet has granted its approval to a legislative proposal on Wednesday with the aim of streamlining the deportation process for unsuccessfully asylum seekers. So this is the Chancellor Olaf Scholz is actively working to address the issue of migration in the political landscape. As you know, it's a matter of also politics when it comes to immigration. I mean, candidates get elected because of their policy towards immigration. That's how they get most of the time more votes. So it's always will be binded by that political issue when it comes to immigration. Now, let's look at what the Netherlands says on its part. So the Netherlands, they need more migrant workers due to large-scale staff shortage. This is the OEV. OEV is like the benefit agency in the country, meaning, those who gives benefits regards to children and who don't have works for, various reasons. So this is what has, it directly affects OEV because it's, now the labor market in the Netherlands currently has more vacancies than job seekers. And this imbalance could worsen in the upcoming years. So this is according to the OEV or the benefit agencies as it is known. So now to address this, they are going to do the agency believes all solutions should be explored. So what are these solutions? It's something that we are going to see together. Now, what happens? Let's look at first Germany. What happens in Germany in terms of, this new draft bill? First of all, the pre-deportation detention increases from 10 to 28 days, meaning as they expedite the deportation of individuals affiliated with criminal organizations, mainly in smuggling, and others also in the country. They come and be part of this gang, criminals in the country. So they want to do that. They want to investigate that. The other thing is the power to conduct. It provides them that the bill that has been just approved. It will give the police now or the Ministry of Immigration it will give it a power to conduct residential searches. Before it was not allowed to ascertain an individual's identity definitively, and in some instances eliminates the obligation to provide advance notice of deportation. So meaning without even being given a notice, if they identify you that you are not a migrant, or as they call it, illegal migrants. So then they have the power to migrate, to deport that person. And before, they were not allowed to go to the person's house and to search. Now it will give them to break in and search for whatever they are searching. Yeah. So now next, let's look at this is the German Ministry of Interior. So what did she say? Let's look at this is what she said: to safeguard the fundamental right to asylum, we must significantly curtail irregular migration. This is Nancy Faeser, what she said on Wednesday. And those who lack the right to remain must leave our nation. Yeah. In all this, if you have seen, there is no really African migrants. Everybody thinks that when the talk of migration arises in Europe, it's about African migrants, but it's not really. Because first of all, they don't want to encourage it. Secondly, much of the number of migrants are not really Black Africans. Now, facts about migration in Germany is that so far Germany has been seen as one of those EU member states who really embraced migrants from various parts of the world. First of all, Germany has the highest number of refugees in the country, over 1 million from Ukraine, as a result of the Ukraine-Russia war. And then during, the Syria war also, it has embraced more than 1 million Syrians. This even brought to the country more criticisms from the European member states, because there were others were forced also to do the same, not to the amount of Germany, but in a small amount, and they didn't like that. And then in 2022 alone, there were 244,000 asylum seekers in Germany, and that number is going to be projected now this year about 300,000. This is their projection. Now, in 2023, I mean, when now the parliament approves this bill, it doesn't mean that Germany started to deport immigrants now. It's just intensifying it, and it's kind of speeding up the process before, the police and everything is, until they gather enough evidence. Now that is going to be shortened and do a faster deportation. That's what's going to happen. Now, in 2023 alone, so far, 27% more deportation from last year. I mean, it's already speeding up, and they even want to speed it up more. Now, from 2021, as of 2021, in December, there were more than 200,000. They have either pending asylum applications or are in ongoing appeal proceedings against decision on their application. So these are some of the facts related with immigration in Germany. Now, general facts about migration in Europe. I mean, more than 2/3 of Europe unauthorized immigrants. This is a study, actually, it's an old, in 2017, lived, most of them, in Germany, UK, Italy, and France. They were seen as more, can we say, less stricter, and the immigrants, usually kind of land in these countries other than. So Netherlands is not really one of them, as you can see from here. But Germany, indeed, yes. But now the Chancellor Angela Merkel used to be known, embracing immigrants, but this Chancellor Olaf Scholz seems to take a different direction. They're not even, the Germans are not satisfied so far. I mean, he advocated for something else when he come to power, but they really expect more from him. So he wants to speed up this and, get ready for his next election. This I would like to share with you. These are the biggest foreign-born communities. I mean, we all think the Black Africans are the one who kind of, mostly migrate to Europe. First of all, most of the migration of the African people happens within the continent. It's not outside of the continent. But even when it happens, the larger number is taken by the Northern African countries. The Northern African countries, those who collaborate in terms of deportation with the European Union, while they have the highest number of migrants in Europe. Look at Morocco. It has more than 2.9, more than 2.2 millions of people outside of Morocco. I mean, I can tell you in Netherlands, in Germany, in Belgium, in France, most of the migrants are from North Africa. It's not from the, as they call us, the sub-Saharan Africa or the Black Africa, okay? So these are the numbers. And you don't see Morocco, okay, we see Algeria, those are North Africans, and you don't see, no sub-Saharan African countries. I mean, these are the majority of migration. So when European Union always talks about migration, they like to point finger at Africans, the sub-Saharan African, and they want to put, oh, we put this measure and that measure. No, it's not the Africans. It's much of it's from North Africa. If it's Africa, then it's the Northern African countries, Morocco and Algeria, and then the rest is actually Turkey, Russia, Ukraine. As you can see, there's India, China, United States itself. It's good to mention that Bosnia and Herzegovina. Yeah, so these are the countries. I just wanted to share some facts with you. Now, the Netherlands, the OEV, says now more migrant workers are needed because currently it has more, as you have seen, more vacancies than job seekers. So it needs to imbalance. That's imbalance, so that they want to balance it. All solutions should be explored. This is something I want you to pay attention. It says all solutions should be explored, including the employment of more migrant workers. Okay. Now, although the country has, seen more a growing number of the working population, but due to the aging population, this is what puts it in imbalance. So there is more increasing in the next few years. I mean, the gap will even be bigger, meaning the vacancies and the number of job seekers. So these are the reasons now for Netherlands to come and say, publicly, we need more workers. Now, this is according to the board member of this OEV, or the benefit agency in the Netherlands. This is what she said. There are fewer trainings. I mean, these are like their indicator, how they know that there is more worker needed. So she says there are fewer trains running. Many places have longer waiting times, and the hospitality industry often closes. I mean, they cannot survive it. Now there is, for the solution, this is what she suggests: encouraging part-time workers to work more longer hours. And then when hiring new staff, she advocates not to look at a formal qualification, but also for skills, rather than, the qualification, looking for qualification, to look at, the skills of the applicant. Now, this is, I want you to look at this. Now, the elephant in the room is, because it's always, this is a Pan-African platform, and I want to relate it because it affects us in some ways. That's why I bring it here. Now, it is the African immigrants, right? The African immigrants, no mention has been mentioned, but in their suggestion, this is how she mentions it. we need to view labor migration in a broader context, because just before I read that, in the Netherlands it has been suggested that they have to take maybe more workers, only migrants, because other European states have excessive more migrants that they want to deport. For example, Germany. Now it's better to take it from Germany or from France, those who are about to deport, than bringing any new migrants. But that has been a very sensitive issue and politically bounded. So this is how she put it. We need to view labor migration in a broader context. And then adding also to it, it's a political decision, but it is a discussion we cannot afford to avoid, including about labor migration from outside of Europe. Which, I mean, yes, but which continent she's trying to save? She knows that they're trying to avoid African migrants, whether they're skilled or not, those who come by sea or whatever. But she's trying, suggest those outside of Europe, we have to consider it. So now, I am not going to say that. I mean, if you ask me my view, I'm not going to say that Africans have to come to Europe or have to. I'm not one of those people who encourages migration, but because there's a lot of opportunity in the continent. There is a lot of things to be done in the continent. I know that we have all the challenges, but the opportunities are much bigger in Africa than here for an African person, really, to make it. So, I mean, I would rather throw the question to you. What do you think of these policies by these two countries? Number one. Number two, do you think that now the policy, now that Netherlands says, okay, we need more workers, that should encourage Africans, to be motivated for migration to Europe, to the Netherlands or other countries? What do you think? In general, your view in Africa, what is, if migration should be encouraged or not? There was something that I wanted to share with you. Let me see if I have it in my slides. Yeah, this is, when the migration policy was introduced by the European Union, they wanted to save more lives. There was this bill saving more lives of those migrants, particularly the Africans who comes through the Mediterranean Sea, to those who are at risk, who coming from a boat. So far, I mean, I think not in 1 year, but so far, according to statistics, more than 25,000 people have died crossing the Mediterranean Sea. So now, when they wanted to implement this measure, the life saving from Italy, those on the border from France and other countries, Italy was the one actually who opposed it. It was Germany and one other country who supported it. So Italy, we see that now the prime minister talking about France doing this, doing that, and then about migration. So that's why the Africans are they end up, in Europe. But also they are not really engaged. They're not really engaging when it comes to the life-saving programs. These people, they have different backgrounds for coming to Europe. It could be political, economical. So they cannot get a visa. So they come, they risk. It's not that they want to, but that is the only option. But Italy did not really opt to approve that policy of life savings, to save the lives of Africa who are crossing the Mediterranean Sea. So yeah, that's something that I wanted to share with you. So in any case, I will leave you with my question. What do you think of migration, African migration to Europe? Do you think it should be encouraged now that we see countries like the Netherlands are saying that they need more workers, but they didn't say directly Africans. I'm just saying, but they have suggested we have to consider migrants outside of Europe as well. So let us know in the comments section, what do you think of this? So I will see you on the next one. Thank you for tuning in. Bye-bye.